Welcome to Beats, Rhymes, and Crimes Live. What they do. I am Josh Jones, ESQ, also known as the Dope Black Lawyer, and this is the number one place to get legal information about law and hip hop culture. So if you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time, welcome. And we want to let you know you ain't never got hip hop and legal news like this before. So we got a lot to talk about today. Diddy finally came back and made a statement about the most recent lawsuits. Some Thug news. Thug has some updates this week. Somebody talking about him on a 911 call that related to a shooting. We got a lot of stories here, but before we tap all the way in, what's good with everybody, man? You know, so it's been a while. As you can see, Malik Ali is not here today. Ali had to tended some business, so he's on a flight as we speak on the way to New York City. Was good, brother. So we have a new format for this week. He's still gonna be with us, but not live. So just stay tuned. And before we get into it, just kind of let me know where you're watching from. As you know, every week we live from the 305. Ali's usually in LA. Right now he's on the jet headed to NYC. So just let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. Either way, we thank you for being here with us. We don't take that lightly. And I'm just curious, who else woke up this morning with an SOS message on their iPhone and couldn't make no calls? Is that just me? Let me know, because I was getting ready for a call. I got a mastermind that I'm in. Every morning we have accountability calls. I'm trying to log into the Zoom and use my phone for the audio, and it was not connecting. I was like, man, did I pay the bill? What's happening? So I finally Googled it and realized that it was something going on with cell phone providers in certain places in the United States. Let us know if you had any problems. I finally got my phone back. So that's what's up. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. So you already know, last week we talked about the Kansas City Chiefs. They had their celebration. They had a parade, and two people been arrested for the murder of a local DJ, Lisa Lopez Galvin, and several other people were shot. Both of these individuals admitted to the police that they were shooting for different reasons. The man you see, his name is Lindell Mays, and he was the first person to start shooting. He said people got into his space, and they said they were going to do something to him, so he just started shooting. He just started busting kind of wildly. And another guy ended up shooting. The other guy, Dominic Miller, if I'm not mistaken, is the one whose bullet was confirmed to have killed the DJ. And both of them are facing the same charges for murder. There are also two minors involved as well. You know, usually when there's minors, they're not going to really put the info out there like that. So I'm not sure if they were charged or what they were charged with. When asked why, Lindell Mays said he was just stupid, man. Just pulled a gun out and started shooting. I shouldn't have done that. Just being stupid. So couldn't agree with you more, Lindell. Also stupid is to cooperate with the police before you get a deal. First he said he didn't do it, but then they claimed they had surveillance. Whether they did or not, he went for it. Police are allowed to lie to you to get you to confess, and they may have been doing that in this instance. We really don't know. But Lindell and Dominic both were hospitalized and are now in jail with these charges pending. Both have bonds set for $1 million, and it's likely they're going to be sitting there for a while. So, just want to give you an update on what was going on out there with that story. And also, if you were out at the Super Bowl, or maybe were at a Usher concert recently, you might also want to be a little bit concerned about this story. So they're saying that several hotels in Vegas had bed bugs. So the hotels that they named most recently were the Encore, the Venetian, the Mirage, and Excalibur. So That was all last year. So actually, if you were at the Super Bowl, you really are not in danger. But between 2022 and 2023, other hotels that also were found with bed bugs was Caesar's Palace, Planet Hollywood, Circus Circus, the Palazzo, Tropicana, MGM Grand, and Sahara. So bed bugs is out there, man. You go to Vegas, check them sheets. I had a client one time. She was at a hotel and she got the bed bugs and the bites look nasty. So you do not want to catch bed bugs. Who's gonna be the brave man to type of one in the chat that said they had bed bugs? No judgment. I'll wait. But not really. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about Antonio Brown, sticking with the NFL theme. So Antonio Brown was given jewels by this guy, Suki International, who's a businessman and a jeweler. He provides jewels for athletes and entertainers, Floyd Mayweather, um, among others. So he sued Antonio Brown because he let Antonio Brown hold jewelry, assuming that he would either return it or pay for it. Antonio Brown did neither. So Antonio Brown never responded to the lawsuit. So the judge um, ordered a default judgment, issued a default judgment, ordered Antonio Brown to pay a little over $1 million for the jewelry in question. So the key lesson here, and we've talked about it before, if you get served with a lawsuit, you got to get a dope black lawyer on your side who's going to be able to help you to respond to the allegations against you, maybe work out a deal, negotiate if for some reason you actually do owe, but maybe you want to get a payment plan, you want to get the amount reduced, you want to do something. But whatever the case, if you don't respond, the other person is going to get a default judgment, and then they're going to be able to collect from you through, your wages, bank levies. The court could order you to sell property. So you want to make sure that you respond. This episode is right up my alley today, actually, because if you don't know, I mainly handle car accidents, slip and falls, personal injury types of cases. Janae Aiko, I don't know how to really say it, but she was sued for a car accident that occurred in 2022 out in California. So it sounds like a run-of-the-mill accident. She was sued by Janelle Liggett. So it's Janae versus Janelle out in Encino, California. And basically, it sounds like a classic rear-end accident. Potentially, Janae wasn't paying attention, and she rear-ended the woman. So they're demanding a jury trial. It'll probably end up settling at some point, but the lady has said that she lost wages, loss of her property, and had medical expenses and loss of earning capacity. So they're trying to get the bag. And they will. Type of one in the chat if you ever had a car accident case where you had to hire a lawyer. Let us know if that lawyer got you a bag, because we hear mixed results. Some people have lawyers who they feel like really represented them well, and some people say they never really hear from the lawyer. They just want to get the case done. So I'm just curious, what happened in your experience. Staying on the car accidents. All right, Haywood Highsmith, who's a Miami Heat player. He came up through the started out with a 10-day contract a few years back, worked his way up to the team. We didn't report on it, but I did see it where he had an accident a couple weeks ago, February 6th, after a game with the Orlando Magic. It appears that he must have been close to his house because it was pretty far from the arena. But apparently there was a 21-year-old man who was helping a woman push a car, and the car was disabled, and Haywood Highsmith ended up running into the car going 45, estimated in a 40-mile-per-hour zone in a very residential area. And the man ended up having to have his leg amputated. So, he had a pretty serious injury. And now, just that fast, there's been a lawsuit filed. I actually know one of the lawyers who filed the lawsuit. And, it's very unfortunate to hear that somebody lost their leg. They're saying that Highsmith may not have been paying attention, but then at the same time, and this, this 2021, this car that was disabled. I don't know if they had lights. So there's gonna be a lot of facts that are gonna come out. We'll continue to watch and see. The man was listed in critical condition, but he's had to get his leg amputated. But it seems like other than that, he's gonna be, stable. Highsmith's agent, who I discovered is a dope Black agent. Not sure if he's an attorney, but a lot of agents are. Is also a member of my fraternity, Mega Sci-Fi, Root to the Qs. Jerry Dionis said that Highsmith had not consumed alcohol or drugs at the time of the crash, and said, quote, "This was an unfortunate accident. We have been notified that the person sustained significant injuries but is in stable condition. Haywood and his family are praying for him. Haywood is, of course, shaken by this and appreciates the support and prayers he has received from the Miami Heat and fans. We will have no further comment." So key takeaway from this is make sure that you have insurance. So 9 times out of 10, if you get hit by a celebrity or an athlete, they're going to have sufficient insurance or money to pay for the damages. But I have cases not every day, but very often, where people have crashes with people and they have this no name insurance, and lo and behold, there's no coverage or there's not enough coverage. So get your policy checked. Make sure you have uninsured/underinsured motorist coverage, so that if you're in an accident with somebody, they don't have good insurance, they don't have any insurance, you can still make sure that you get your bills taken care of and get some compensation for what happened to you. All right. It's a crazy car accident right here. So I don't even want to tell you what happened. I just want to show you what happened here. Yeah, that is correct. That is outside that we're looking at right now. This dude's Amazon truck was snapped in half. My God. So this actually is an old incident, but a new video. But man, I felt like we had to watch that. So this happened November 2021. In the outskirts of Milwaukee, Alexander Evans was driving this Amazon truck. He made a left turn, and as soon as he made that left, he got hit by a train. Excuse me. He got hit by a train, and Lord willing, he was okay. He didn't have very serious injuries, but that looks super scary for sure. And I'm just glad that it wasn't more serious, for sure, for sure. So one thing that I will say, if you're represented by me and you ever get hit by a train, this is how you need to react.
Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh, I want 150,000. But we can start out of court right now for $20. Man, get your punk.
That's how you got to react when you get hit by a train, my brother. All right, my man, thankfully was okay. Interesting fact, he said that he couldn't hear too good out of his left ear, so he didn't hear the horn until it was too late, which is very, very obvious. But you got to be careful, man. People out here, well, first of all, the train can't stop, so you got to be careful even with an incident with just everyday people, like people is not looking for you. They don't care about stopping for you. They're just out here in their own world. So a lot of them actually see you and still just don't care. So you really, really got to protect yourself. So I had never heard of Tiffany Red, but maybe some of y'all had. But she was kind of going in a little bit. I'm not going to front. So basically, she went on IG Live discussing when Jay-Z was up in arms after the Grammys about Beyonce not winning Artist of the Year. So if you didn't know, Jay-Z said at the Grammys, "I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year." So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys and never won album of the year. That doesn't work. So I'm not sure what about that does not work, but um yeah, so we're gonna show you the video because what's the sister name? Tiffany Red, she had something to say about that. And it's interesting. So we want to go ahead and share what she was talking about. A little controversial.
Yeah. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won album of the year. That doesn't work.
So let me get this straight. Jay-Z expects Beyonce to win Album of the Year when all the songwriters that contributed to these albums are not compensated, and she takes an obscene amount of publishing from all of them. That's what you expecting, Mr. Jay-Z, for your young lady? Because that's not how God works, okay? Because see, here's the thing. God is bigger than all of this. And here's what you can't do. You can't mess with God's kids and then think that you will be rewarded. Okay?
So yeah, she was going in. I mean, she basically went on a rant, but essentially she's saying that Beyonce and other people are just not paying the songwriters, the people who you don't know, the behind the scenes producers and all that, their fair share. And she's gone. She feels so strongly about it. She started an organization called 100%ers. So that's one of her missions, is to make sure that the people get taken care of. So yeah, I mean, this is right up Ali's lane. So I want to bring Ali to the stage while he's on the
All right,
plane.
man, bringing it back to entertainment. You know, Miss Tiffany Red, like she took a strong stance this week. She kind of sounds like the mad rapper. I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword, man. Anytime you work with a major artist, like Beyonce, she's gonna take a lion's share of the publishing. That's kind of how this works, because you're not really expected to make your bag off of Beyonce. You're expected to make your bag on the next record for whomever you work with, and they pay, because that's kind of the level up. I don't know. Unless you are a top tier writer, and they came to you like through the label for that specifically. Otherwise, if you just got in on a session, or you were blessed enough to have some people and some ends on that project, and you got in and you did some good work, you'll get your credit and your acclaim, but not your full publishing. And it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how this goes. Yes, it should change. Yes, she wasn't wrong for calling Zendaya out or calling Tamar Braxton out. But it's also, just depending on your paperwork. And a lot of people sign these contracts because that's the best situation for them at the time. Not necessarily, like the ideal situation. I know I've done it. And it's a pocketbook decision a lot of times, And people forget that no one held a gun to your head for you to sign that paperwork. I do think that the 100%ers is a great movement. I think that it's a wonderful idea. And, it should really help a lot of young writers and people in entertainment advance. But, hey, man, she's just calling out some of the ugly truths of how this industry really is.
Yeah, man. So industry rule number 4080, record company people are shady. So you got to know that coming into the industry. I agree with Ali a lot. You also got to make sure that you're not so excited, so desperate to get into the industry that you sign anything. All right. You need to have somebody drafted that contract. You need to have somebody review that contract. You're not going to be able to read it to its full capacity. Even, you know what I'm saying, your everyday lawyer won't. There's entertainment lawyers who specialize in special types of only do music, only do licensing, only do, whatever. So you really want to make sure you're going to the type of lawyer that handles that type of case. So I wish all of these people the best, that they get the bag, that the money gets spread around equally, that, what I'm saying, everybody eats off of their labor, all right, the fruits of their labor. So, what I'm saying, part of being even a dope black lawyer, if you just being dope, just being a lawyer, a black lawyer doesn't make you dope. What makes you dope is how you also give back to the community, how you also hire black people, brown people, and bring them up into the legal industry, how you also show love and show light to issues that affect people and aren't just only worried about things that you're going to be able to make money off of. So it's so much more to being dope than just being good at your craft. So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with Ali. And to an extent, I agree with Tiffany Red as well. So let me know, what do y'all think? Does Beyonce owe the writers more bread? And she went in also, he brought up Tamar Braxton's and Zendaya, other people who had stuff going on. But Beyonce was the main one. So patrolling the police, man, this is a case that I've been personally following because a dope black lawyer who I'm very close with is representing the family in the civil case. Because remember, the lawyers who sue are civil lawyers. The lawyers who prosecute the wrongdoers are criminal lawyers. And for this case, a police officer, his name is Jason Mead. He also claims to be a reverend, was on trial recently for the murder of a black man in Ohio named Casey Goodson. So what Mead claims, because we can't talk to Casey to get his side, but what Mead claims is that while in traffic, he was in an unmarked car. So it's not obvious he's the police, but he says while in traffic, for whatever reason, Casey pulled a gun out, and drove off. So he said he feared for his life and others. So he chased Casey. Casey ended up at his grandmother's house, going into the house, and he claims that Casey had a gun aimed at him, and he shot and killed Casey. Casey ended up dying in his grandmother's kitchen. They said in his hands he had a sandwich bag and keys, no gun. So for the longest time this case was going on, there was no witnesses. It was only Jason's word. But then at the almost like something you'll see on like Perry Mason or something, at the 23rd hour, somebody who was doing work at a nearby house said that they saw Casey driving erratically, pulled into the yard, but they did not see him with any type of weapon. So there was a big commotion about whether they were going to even let this person testify. The judge ended up allowing it. The jury was unclear about the jury instructions. There's 3 different charges. They said, well, can we find him guilty on one charge? Well, can we say that? So basically, they asked the judge hypothetically if they could return a verdict on one count and be hung on another. They also asked a couple of ways if Mead could be justified on one count but not justified on the other 2 counts. The judge told them if they found the defendant was justified, it applied to each count. This is a crazy case. The judge ruled a mistrial, then he took it back. The jury went back to deliberate until finally the judge ruled another time that there was a mistrial because they couldn't come to a unanimous agreement. So Mead is still free. He was out on $250,000 bond. The prosecution has not said whether or not they'll try the case again. But again, they do have a dope black lawyer, Sean Walton, my brother, who is representing this family, has been with this family from day one, and is doing what he can to make sure that they are able to get justice on the civil side. So I want to shout that out. I want to make sure that we protect people from the police and that we're patrolling the police, let people know what's going on with the police. And when things happen, we're going to be here and we're going to talk about it. All right. So now, man, we got this story right here. And basically rappers are using their platform to fight for healthcare. So I think it's pretty cool. But I'm just gonna show the PSA. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna show it, and then we'll talk about it after.
Hip-hop is an art form.
But it's more than that.
It's the consciousness of people.
And with that
Comes responsibility.
Today,
all across the country.
Hospitals and insurers,
hide their prices.
And it's creating fear.
Debt.
and devastation all over this country.
We need actual prices in healthcare,
Not averages.
not estimates.
We need real prices.
We ask
our elected officials
to do better.
we demand prices.
in transparency in healthcare.
Power to the patients.
So that's a dope movement, power to the patients. But essentially, what they're saying is because people don't know how much healthcare is going to cost, some people are not even going to get healthcare. Some people are being surprised by the cost of healthcare because a lot of times they'll give you estimates, they'll give you everything except the exact cost for what the healthcare is going to be. So we are seeing this all the time as a personal injury law firm, right? We're constantly dealing with clients. They go to the doctor, we get these bills. Sometimes these bills are outrageous, and luckily we have the ability to fight for our clients, to get settlements and things like that to help to pay for the healthcare. But some people don't have that. Even though they passed the healthcare bill, some people still don't want to use it because the deductibles are high. They don't have the money for the co-pays, but having an avenue for people to get healthcare is never a bad thing. So we're going to definitely follow that. There's a movement to help people get healthcare. Hopefully that some type of bill passes to move that forward even more. So that's what's up. Shout out to those rappers who are involved with that. So if you don't know, the Atlanta DA, Fonnie Willis, she is the one who has been prosecuting YSL and Young Thug, but the bigger case that they have going on in the office is the case with Donald Trump and however many co-defendants with regard to the attempt to derail the election in 2020 with voter fraud and all of that stuff. So if you hadn't seen it, we hadn't talked about it. Maybe we mentioned it, but we didn't talk about it much. But one of the defendants from that case somehow found out that she had a relationship with the special prosecutor who she named. And they moved to have her removed from the case. So the prosecutor was named Wade Nathan or Nathan Wade or something like that. And it's interesting because it doesn't seem like he ever had been a prosecutor. It seemed like he was more of like a divorce lawyer. So they're trying to say that she had been in a relationship with him while he was still married, and she named him to get this role where he's been able to earn hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars as a special prosecutor. But on top of that, he used the money earned to pay for lavish things for Fonnie Willis, who was the DA. So there was a motion filed that she should be disqualified. They had a hearing, and she was going in. She held her own. She was going in for sure. And this is what just a little taste of what was going on.
Your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
And, well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was.
So yeah, so I mean, they're trying to say that
Your office objected to us getting.
They're trying to say that Fonnie was doing something wrong. She's not on trial. She's 100% right about that. And I've never seen a case where they were trying to get records for the prosecutor. But I'm sure it happens. But basically, this is just an attempt to kind of just shift the focus from what the case is about to something else. They also were talking about how, she was benefiting from the money and the gentleman said that she paid him back in cash. So for a lot of people, that seemed like it didn't make sense. So her father actually came to testify, and like a good dad, he explained this for her. So just to give you a little context.
Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay? I was trained.
So just to give you a little context, this is her father, John Floyd. He's a retired lawyer, and he's explaining why it would make sense for someone to use cash, especially Fonnie, who he raised. So here we go.
And most black folks, they hide cash or they keep cash. And I train, you always keep some cash, because I've been places, and just because of the color of my skin, for example, I took a fellowship at Harvard when my daughter was just if I might, Your Honor, when I was just, she was just, maybe 3 years old. And I remember going to a restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I had a American Express credit card and maybe a Visa or whatever. And I had a lot of what they call traveler's checks. I don't even know if they still have traveler's checks, but
Shout out to traveler's checks.
And there was a sign said, with the credit card. For whatever reasons, the man would not take my American Express credit card. So I pulled out my Visa card, and he wouldn't take my Visa card. So then I pulled out my traveler's checks. He said, we don't take checks. Now, these were traveler's checks. This was money. I had a $10 bill. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And he said, the bill for my wife at the time, Fonnie's mother, Fonnie, and myself was like $9.95, and I had a $10
Dang, you can't get one meal for $10 a day, but he paid for 3.
bill. That was all that. I always remember that. But even before that, I've always kept cash, and I've told my daughter, you keep 6 months worth of cash always. For example, I had 3 safes in my house. I put some of my clients' stuff there too, things I didn't want other lawyers to be, because you're always in a firm, and I knew that there were special conditions. So some of my clients' things I would bring home, put them in the safe. But I've always kept safes. And as a matter of fact, I gave my daughter her first cash box and told her, always keep some cash.
Let me know, were y'all trained the same way to keep cash? Because that doesn't sound unfamiliar for me. So he said he don't want to sound racist. We get into it a lot with the homies. Black people cannot be racist. But were you trained to keep cash, 6 months worth of cash under your mattress? Did your grandma used to keep cash in a jar in the kitchen, have money all over the house? Because that does not sound unfamiliar for me. I know a lot of people heard that, and it sounds like something that's unbelievable. But the biggest thing is that at the end of the day, Fonnie is not on trial. It is Trump, and it is the however many co-defendants for this Georgia election case. And I think it's 14 of them. And as much as they want to try to, shift it, whether it's Fonnie's office or another office, they're going to be, tasked with prosecuting and convicting all of those defendants. So, Ali, what you think?
Right into it, man. With the STEM guard, man, Big Teasy. First off, man, shout out to Trump. He raising that 300 M's real fast. My man has sold out of his shoes that he's.
So he got $300 million verdict against him that he's from another case up in New York. I'm not sure about these shoes. Ali is a wild dude, but I just wanted to kind of give you that context because you might not have known about what he was talking about either. Do you know anything about the Donald Trump shoes?
Charging $400 a pop for, and they out of there. He rented it up the Yeezy way. So that's number one. But the Fulton County DA, Fannie Willis, yo, shorty was upset, yo. She was coming for heads. She really, put them people in place. Like, they tried to come for her. They tried to assassinate her character, and She responded with the typical black woman. That's what they got on Stan. You got a typical black educated woman who felt marginalized, and then she came for them people and was not letting up at all. And that's good for her, you know. Like when she literally got it, the attorney said, "Yo, I'm not on trial. He's on trial," and looked at Donald and pointed at that man and said, "No, he's on trial. It ain't me." That was it for me. I don't know. This case had me in a chokehold all week. I couldn't stop watching it. It was crazy on CNN. Like they just had dumb clips of her just going ballistic on the prosecution. Yo, shout out to her. She did that.
So let us know. Have you been watching that footage? Because I didn't watch it in real time, but I did check in late, and also I know that Plies was watching it because this brother is so weird to me. But this is what Plies had to say after watching it.
Hey, dear, Fanny and the Willis. Fanny Willis. Fanny and the Willis. I didn't want you to know Fanny. Fanny. After the day, me seeing you on that stand, Fanny, you the first person I seen in my life on that stand that turned me on. I ain't never seen nothing like it, Fanny. Fanny, listen, it's what I'm telling you. The lawyer on your firm that you paid them $600,000 allegedly. Fanny, you ain't even gotta pay me. I'm gonna pay you. After the day, Fanny, I'm gonna pay you. You ain't gotta pay me, Fanny. Fanny, I wanna pay you. Fanny, you laid back in that chair. You had your little finger like that with that little pink shirt on, and then people ask you them questions. Whatever say. Fanny, I see. Fanny jumped up and said, "Oh, no. Since you want to talk about it, let's talk about it." Fanny, I know.
So weird. But if every time he said Fanny, you had to take a shot, you'll be so drunk right now. But you know, they trying to mix it up, but it is what it is. Let us know if you think Fanny should step down. Actually, her name is Fanny. First of all, her name's Fanny. So let me get that right before we move on to the next story. Let us know, should Fanny remove herself to remove all of the speculation and keep the attention where it needs to be? So here's another story. It's not a Karen this week, but we do have a crazy Ken confrontation that we want to show. And let me cue it up real quick.
I paid for the seat. I paid for the seat, boy. Oh, me. I'm watching the game. You. I'm watching the game.
One thing for certain, two things for sure. When you pull up on a Karen or a Ken, they gonna change their tune. What are you talking about? I was watching the game. I paid for my seat. But he called, if you couldn't hear it, he was heckling Russell Westbrook, and he called Russell Westbrook a boy, which we all know. I don't even know if that's a dog whistle, but we all know that's kind of a definitely an inappropriate term. I would suggest that it's also a racist term for someone to call a black man a boy in 2024. For many, many years, black men were referred to as boys as a derogatory term. I would say it's still a derogatory term, and even kids would call black men, grown men, boy. But when he was confronted back, his whole energy changed up. Luckily, they kicked him out. I'm not sure if he was with the kid, but luckily the kid didn't leave with him, so I would assume that's not his son. Hopefully the kid doesn't grow up to be an idiot like him. But thankfully it was a crazy Ken confrontation that was not a killer. So we got a lot, man, with hip hop on trial. So we're just gonna jump straight into that. We're not even gonna play with this too much, but we did want to, bring you that Ken confrontation. But it's a busy week. We got Thug up first, and where do we want to start? So there was a 911 video that was played in court, and I guess we're gonna just play it, let you hear it. Man. Thought I had the video right there, but I don't. So give me 1 second. We're gonna pull this video up, and gotta be versatile. It's more than one way to pull up the video. So here we go.
6197. What's the address of the emergency? It's not an emergency. The guy that shot the guy over here off Cleveland Avenue, he's in my friend's apartment, and she's panicking. She don't know what to do. Okay, what's going on? There's a guy, I guess somebody must have shot somebody over here where I stayed, over here in Summerdale. But you cannot come to my house or to my house or okay, ma'am. When I come to your location, I just need to know what's going on. Was somebody shot recently? Yes, about 5 police say where I go. Okay. What's the location? It's over here on Cleveland Avenue. Cleveland Avenue. What else, ma'am? I need numbers or Tupac Street. Old Hateville. Old Hateville in Cleveland Avenue? Yes. I don't want to talk loud. I don't want to get myself in no trouble. That's fine. Okay. You said okay, the mail is inside of what home? My friend apartment. She panicking. She don't know what to do. Okay, that's fine. Okay. But she got her mom and her baby now. Okay. All right. And what's the call? What's the number? We stay in the new townhouses in Summerdale. And she stay in building C, but I'm not for sure what the apartment number is. But she stay in building C when you come around to come through the gate. Okay, so who was shot? I have no idea, babe. I promise I can't tell y'all that. I don't know. All that I know, she came to my house and told me that the guy that shot somebody named Young Thug, or whatever it's supposed to be, shot somebody and the guy is in her house. So I don't know how y'all can do that. I'm trying to get her out the house, but she wants the phone now. Okay, all right. Okay, so you're saying the female won't answer the phone? I just tried to call her phone. And she got her baby and her mama now. Okay, all right. And do you want to leave your name or number? No. Okay. Please don't call me back. Yes, ma'am. She know my children. No. Okay. All right. I want to come back and retaliate against things. Okay. What's the apartment or the duplex name?
So we'll talk about it, but I want you to hear from Ali. Ali, what you thought about that, brother?
Time to get to what we all been waiting for, man. And it's finally been an eventful week with the YSL case, and we got, the attorney tapping in. Now we know why. When they start playing the music in the courtroom, all the attorneys start rocking. All right, man. Now, after listening to the audio, it's very clear that this is an older black woman. That's number one. She didn't want to give up no type of information because she afraid, because that's how it go in the hood. Two, she probably couldn't step away from her mustard greens at the time that she was watching to give all the rest of that information. And I find it really, really crazy that Young Thug would just be posted in her neighbor house. Maybe I misheard that, but yeah, that's kind of wild. To just describe it, say, "Oh yeah, that's Young Thug. He just shot somebody." First off, what is Thug doing over on Cleveland Avenue, just busting at people in the hood in 2011? Like, he was kind of on then. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, some of the facts ain't all the way there. It's just it's kind of like everything else in this case. It just doesn't all the way add up, and they're really trying to put the pieces to the puzzle together to make a narrative and or just to make it stick some which way. I don't know. This one's kind of up in the air too.
Yeah, so I mean, let us know if you was on the jury, would that 911 call influence you in any way? I'm just curious. I don't even know how that got into evidence because that is clearly hearsay. It's an unsubstantiated call. We don't know who the lady is. We don't know who told her that. We don't know what shooting she's referring to. They're just going on, and the judge allowed for this to come in to talk about this alleged shooting that took place on Cleveland Avenue. So the only thing that's consistent is that Thug is from Cleveland, the Cleveland Avenue area. So other than that, I mean, I'm very surprised by that. And the next one, I appreciate everybody that reached out, but we had a lot of people hitting me up as soon as one of the YSL lawyers got arrested. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Nicole Fagan, she represents one of the defendants, Lil Rod. Probably wouldn't assume it by looking at that picture, but she is an attorney. She was picked up in court during the middle of the trial. So it's for an unrelated case, but she is Tencarius Mendor's attorney. And she was arrested and charged with participating in a criminal street gang activity and criminal solicitation to commit the offense of tampering with evidence. So she had previously been successful in getting her client's case severed from the other defendants' pending cases. The charges, however, are not directly related to the YSL RICO case, but actually related to another unrelated shooting that was deadly in Atlanta back in December of 2022. So as you can see, she's been arrested. She was booked at one of the same jails where a lot of the defendants are being housed in Gwinnett County, and she was released on a $40,000 bond. So according to the charges, Nicole Fagan, she allegedly told one of the shooters to dispose of the gun they used in the murder, and allegedly contacted another defendant about an active warrant for his arrest. So I don't know. I mean, this is what keeping it real goes wrong looks like. This is the poster child for that, if you ask me. So since this happened, some of her social media posts have been going viral. Here's one of her posts that went viral recently. When opposing counsel whips out video surveillance of your client and you try to act like you can't tell who it is. So she's trying to be, very into the culture. If you remember this from back in the day, just doing a lot. She had another post right here. If your man's name holds weight, you can't just be out here acting like a regular bitch. So, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I think that's how the saying goes. Here's some of her other posts. As you can see, she's very much a white bread female. She's not, capitalizing off the culture is what it seems like to me. But now she's being charged, and it's kind of crazy because it seems like she's a pretty good lawyer. But I know a sister in Atlanta right now that's undefeated in criminal charge cases, including murders, serious robberies, kidnappings. If I was looking for a woman to represent me, I would definitely be looking for a dope black lawyer. But everybody's different. So we got the YSL lawyer, Nicole Faye, got arrested, messed around and got caught up in the RICO. Next, what is wrong with Kodak Black? Can somebody please save this young man from himself? So he was recently released. So he was released from jail. He made a deal. So he had been in jail for possession of drugs. They said it was cocaine. It turned out to be a different narcotic that he actually had a prescription for. So those charges were dismissed. So so he walked out of jail yesterday, and this happened. I mean, I don't know. We just gotta pull it up, but this actually happened when he walked out of jail yesterday.
Rocks being thrown and threats being hurled. Don't throw anything at our camera. Kodak Black. Don't throw anything at our camera.
Rush, call the cops.
Just out of jail.
That's when you wake the Kodak bell up. I've been hibernating, chilling, bro.
He has been chilling in jail since December, but he accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to a technical violation of his probation. The judge sentenced him to time served. And Kodak's been in custody since Plantation police reportedly found him passed out in a Bentley with drugs on him.
You want to punch me? I ain't standing you, homie. I ain't standing you, homie.
Okay, I'm not going to back down from you, Kodak. I'm not going to back down from you.
My son about to be born in less than 48 hours. I ain't worried about y'all, homie.
After throwing rocks at our photographer, and look at that again. I wanted to get your side and say hello to you, and you threatened to punch me.
I did.
Threatening to punch me. Don't threaten to punch me again. You understand what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You understand what I'm saying? You want me to call the cops on you right now, Kodak?
You know what I mean?
You want to threaten to punch me again on camera?
This how I'm living, how I'm living. It ain't nothing like you seen on BET.
Kodak sings his way out of jail.
All right.
Just like that, he's gone.
Kind of crazy. You just walking out of jail and throwing rocks at people. Then, I mean, the way he speaks, it sounds like he was high on something right now. What was he able to get his hands on in jail? I'm curious, but I really hope that if there is something going on, that brother gets some help, because that's crazy. I do want to kind of go back real quick, because I don't think I played Ali's reaction to the YSL lawyer.
You know what I'm saying? And it's seriously funny to me that Shorty got caught up like this. And of course, it seems to be well before any of, the murder trial happened, anything like that. But yeah, it seems like Shorty's been taking payoffs and messing with her clients for a while. So she's dipping in the cookie jar. She's definitely into the black meat. So she the one white girl to go to Popeyes on Tuesdays for the special. But yeah, man, I don't know how this is gonna pan out. I don't know how this is gonna pan out at all. I mean, the most we had last week was the defense attorney trying to get more money because she basically getting 15 bands for the whole case. It's been over a year now. And now they got to replace an attorney because she then got indicted? Yo, this is crazy. Yo, this is crazy, man. I don't know. What else could we possibly get out of this trial?
Yeah, I know we're gonna get a lot more. And that attorney that he was referring to, she did get a pay bump, so they're gonna pay her $5,000 a week for the duration of the case. It's not a whole heck of a lot of money, but I guess it's gonna be enough to help her to be able to at least pay her bills, and hopefully on the back side of the case, she'll be able to get more business that'll be more lucrative. But yeah, so Kodak, man, I hope you all right, bro. But you're not making smart decisions either way. So yeah, so in the Jam Master Jay case right now, closing arguments have been completed for each side, I believe, by now, and the jury is deliberating. As we discussed, there's two gentlemen who are on trial for the murder of Jam Master Jay from way back in, I believe it was 2002. If it wasn't 2002, it was 2003. And those gentlemen are pointing the finger at a third person who's going to be facing charges, saying that he was the trigger man and that he was the one who did it. The only witness that the defense called was a memory expert who basically was trying to convince the jury that for an incident that happened so long ago, 22 years ago, that it is highly unlikely for witnesses to have strong memory about what could have happened. So I imagine if not today, probably tomorrow we'll have a verdict for this case. I'm gonna Google it right now. It may have came out since this morning because yeah. So far nothing. So we'll see if the jury is convinced by you know by the defense. They have an alternate theory. We'll see if they think that the prosecution was able to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. But what I know a lot of people have been waiting to hear about is Diddy. So they finally responded to the sexual assault lawsuit. We talked about it when it first popped off. Remember, it was like Cassie filed a suit. The very next day they settled it. And then there was shortly thereafter, like 3 or 4 more suits. And basically, Diddy's attorneys made a couple of claims. So in response, the lawyer said he never participated in, witnessed, or was presently aware of any misconduct, sexual or otherwise, related to the plaintiff in any circumstance whatsoever. Just to recap, supposedly the young lady who filed the suit was in Detroit. She got picked up by one of Diddy's executives, Harv Pierre, and was raped in the bathroom in Detroit, boarded a private jet, ended up at Diddy's studio, Daddy's house, and was gang raped again. So this happened in the early 2000s, and otherwise the statute of limitation had passed. But New York had the Gender Motivated Violence Act, which temporarily lifted the statute of limitations on historical sex offenses. So the lawyers for Diddy also argued that because this alleged assault took place so long ago, that Diddy is prejudiced against being able to defend himself because it happened too long ago. There's no evidence. Kind of like we were just talking about with the Jam Master Jay. Like, the witnesses forgot, the evidence no longer exists if there was evidence, and the allegations just are brought. So whether it's true or not true, it's hard for him to have any way to kind of disprove the validity of it. So they're arguing that it's an unconstitutional law, but so far the law has not been found to be unconstitutional. And Harv Pierre's lawyers also responded, and we'll find out what happens. So that's the Diddy news for now. Let me know if you believe Diddy is right. His legal team is right. Is Diddy at a disadvantage because of the fact that the claim is so long ago? Do you think that these old claims should be allowed to be brought? Let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think. And then last, in Hip Hop on Trial, we got, nope. Let me stop. Let me go back. It's different doing it this way, but I got to bring.
Man, it's been an eventful week. We got to start this thing off the right way. And it would be wrong if we didn't start with Brother Love, Brother Love. Man, like 50 said, got you out here looking crazy. Well, my man released this statement, finally, after weeks of silence, and a new rape accuser coming out. And I don't know, man. Typically where there's smoke, there's fire. Of course, I don't expect him to sit on the sidelines and not try to protect himself and or his name and brand. But yeah, I don't know, man. He got you looking like Kells out here. Why don't try to hogtie people, man? You did them things. And these people remember. Now they coming back for you. So I don't know. I think Diddy might want to settle real quick, just like he did with Cassie, to keep the rest of these accusers from coming out, because it's only gonna get worse. It's definitely gonna get worse before it gets better. And yeah, I don't really see no light for Brother Love coming anytime soon.
Yeah, so I hear that, but you start settling with everybody. When does it ever end, right? Like that, we could just file against Diddy right now, and we could get us at least 150,000, or settle right now for $15. So you want to, you know, stay dangerous. You want people to know that you're not just the ATM. That if they have real allegations, sure, it's in your best interest to settle. But if you're just coming out here for a payday, like we're gonna make you earn it, and you got to have evidence, you got to have proof, and that's what we're waiting to see. So, but back to brother Keefe D, he's still in jail. His lawyer still thinks that he's gonna get bond soon. There's an issue with when you post a bond, you got to say where the money came from, and his family kind of wants to keep anonymity. They don't want to be in the limelight with regard to this case. But the biggest news is the judge gave Carl Arnold, who I couldn't believe was a dope black lawyer. So we definitely will call him dope black lawyer today. But Carl Arnold was brought on the case about a month ago. He still doesn't have all the discovery. And for that reason, they're pushing the case back. So the trial was supposed to start the trial was supposed to start, I believe, in like April. Or there was supposed to be a status check on in April for the trial with a June start date, but now it's being pushed back a few more months to November. And Carl will have an opportunity to get caught up on the case. And yeah, so shout out to Carl. He's the dope black lawyer of the day. Didn't know he was black. Some of the things he was saying, I was like, man, it's got to be some super old like white dude who know where the bodies are buried. But maybe Carl know where the bodies are buried too. So just want to give you a little love, bruh. DBL of the day. All right. And now we're gonna end it with What the Florida. So what do we have for you today? What the Florida. So a meth addict steals an Amazon van in Ormond Beach, which is, I believe, Volusia County near Daytona. And the story there was an Amazon driver was delivering packages, got out of the car, the keys were in the ignition, and this dude jumps in. The Amazon driver tried to get him to, get out. He pulled off. Of course, these vans have GPS, so once it was reported, they were able to track him down and call the police. And I think we have video of this as well. So let's see what the video is talking about.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. Turn around. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
Get on the ground. On your knees. Spread your arms out.
All right, he's complying. We're taking him into custody now. You got the van, Sarge? Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
You know my favorite segment, man. What the Florida? Hey, my man's taking the Amazon truck on the joyride is crazy funny to me. I just want to know what's the end game. Like, did he plan on selling these packages at a discount rate? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he just wanted to show them that he could do a better job than their delivery driver. I don't know. But then he stopped What did he stop at the gas station for? Did he not know he was being tracked? This is Amazon, bro. It's like the third richest company in the world. You think they're not gonna have trackers on their cars, bro? I don't know. I mean, obviously he was in the car messing around. They found the rocks. So, very fitting, man. But the Florida.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about it yet, but apparently, during the arrest, they found crystal-like rocks, counterfeit bill, a burnt glass pipe, and a bag containing a green leafy substance. So he was charged with the theft, meth trafficking, and possession of weed. And to answer Ali's question, he told the deputies that he apologized for taking the Amazon truck. He said he was lost in the neighborhood and thought that taking the vehicle would be his way out. So when you're on meth, that probably makes a lot of sense. Like, ooh, I don't know where I'm at, but I'm gonna jump in a truck and just start driving. So apparently he was driving the truck, falling asleep at the wheel, all types of stuff. So they were able to apprehend him. But what the Florida is going on? It's crazy times, man. So, but I feel like we didn't give him his due. He didn't get it. He didn't get his picture shown. So we're gonna show you what this dude looked like. Matthew Darwin Halteling was allegedly stole an Amazon van. What to Florida? So appreciate y'all, man. This is the time of show where we just talk about it. So a lot of y'all did last week. Let us know when the YSL lawyer thing jumped off. A lot of people was hitting us about that. One or two people hit me about the Fonnie Willis testimony. So if there's anything that you want us to talk about, you can leave an audio message. You can send us a DM. If you have any questions, you're going to still hit us on those same platforms. Holla at adopebblacklawyer.com. Holla at adopebblacklawyer.com. And yeah, that's it, man. So just keep us posted on what you want to see. We appreciate you for rocking with us. If you really enjoyed it, follow us on IG, Threads, Twitter. We Dope Black Lawyer on all these platforms. So we appreciate you for rocking, and that's all we got, man. So we'll holler at you on the next go round. I'll let your boy, man.